Hello everyone, peace of the Lord to all. Today we'll talk about a topic mentioned actually. It's two different stories, but both stories they share one thing, which is a blind man. So I want people to think and read with me carefully what we will see with us on the screen. Now before we start, people they are asking me, they are searching, they could not find my book, the paperback. They found Kindle only. If you go to Amazon, please do the following. You can search either by the name of the book or simply you just type my name, Christian Prince, and you will see all the names, all the books I have. And this is the paperback, all right? And it's shipped very fast. I think maybe 2 days because the one is doing it is Amazon. And what they are doing, they have already books in Europe, Australia. So I don't think they ship it international. Mostly it's shipped local. This is why it's very fast. I'm just guessing this is why I explain, because some people order it, it was almost less than 2 days. So I hope you will find it easy. Just go to Amazon.com and search for the name of the book, or just type my name and you will see all the books has my name. Now we go back to our topic. The blind man story with Jesus simply is very beautiful story, and it's not only just about Jesus doing a miracle, it's about wisdom. You will notice one of the disciples asked Jesus what sin this blind man he did, like what did his parents did sin or something, why he's blind. So Jesus he said no, neither of them did sin, but that will show the glory of the Lord. And he was he was changing the understanding of the Jews for a long time. They think that if someone he have a problem in his body, or he's ill, or he's have a sickness, that means you did commit sin, or your parents did something bad, so it came in your birth. That's why the blind man he's born as a blind man. So he make it clear this is have nothing to do with sin, and you are wrong. At the same time, we know the story, and actually I'm going to play the audio later so we can see the story in the Bible. However, in the Quran, there's the same story. Remember, in the story in the Bible, the blind man, he wanted to see. The blind man, he is a person who desperate. Like, this is not really a surprise, right? Imagine, God forbid, you lost your vision, or you are a person with my love to all those who they are blind. I have a very special respect for them and love for them. When you lose your vision, the first wish you will have is to have a vision, especially if you are a person who never know what vision means. So this is maybe the most important thing for a human being to wish. You see today people they are making plastic surgery for their nose and for their lips. That because simply they are living the fantasy of gifts. Like they don't recognize how many beautiful things God He gave them. And one of it is the vision. So now because they got all those things and they got the money and they got the wealth, so they are busy with doing stupid things in their body. So they put silicone in their lips, silicone in their cheek, silicone in their, I don't want to say where, in their breast. And then at the end of the day, like after a few years, you will have cancer and you will die. And they will tell you, oh, sorry, we found that this is, at that time, we thought it was okay, and now we discover it's not. So a blind man, there is no way he will wish anything except to see. The same story happened to Muhammad. A blind man, he come to him to complain about his blindness. You know what? When a person he complain about his blindness, what does that mean? He's hoping, because he do not need to tell about it. You know, a Muslim, he might say to you, oh, he's telling the Prophet he cannot go to jihad. Well, he know that. He's a blind man. Nobody will ask him to go anywhere. This guy, he can go to the bathroom. So it doesn't make sense anyway. The blind man is coming to complain about his blindness. What does that mean? It means he's asking Muhammad to make a miracle. Obviously, this blind man, he thought that Muhammad, as long he is a prophet of God, and he claimed that Jesus is just a prophet of God. So both of them, they are prophets of the same God. So how come the prophet of the same God, they will not do what the same prophet, the first one, did before? How come Jesus was able to make the blind man see, but Muhammad, he do not? The blind man came to him, he said to him, I am complaining, I have a blindness. Muhammad, he gave him a verse saying, it's those who sit home, who don't go to jihad, are not equal to those who don't go to jihad unless they are disabled. What does this have to do with the guy? They might say to you that the story here is not about the man asking for a miracle, but he's saying to the Prophet, I cannot go for jihad. As I said, this doesn't make sense, because anyway, he's a blind, he do not need to prove it. He's born in the city of Mecca as a blind man. And there is no point of him complaining about it. He complained about his blindness, not about he cannot go and to do jihad. Same time, if we go to the story, as it's mentioned in Asbab al-Nuzul, we will see why I say Muslim stories, all of it is invalid. All of it. Actually, there's a video I saw yesterday, and it's listed right now under the one who published it. In my website, in investigateislam.com, you can go and watch it, about a Muslim explaining why Islamic source, according to him, all Islamic source in the hadith should not be trusted. Only the Quran should be trusted. And why? He said that when you see a hadith, it says narrated from, and I heard from, and he said, and he heard, etc. So according to, and I say this is if you take it to the court, the judge will not accept it. But the fact, isn't it, the Quran is according to. If you have a Quran in Arabic right now, open the last pages of the Quran. You will see that this Quran is written according to. And by the way, all the according to, none of them is what it should be, because Muhammad, he said, خُذُوا الْقُرْآنَ عَنْ أَرْبَعَ, take the Quran from 4, and none of those 4 is those the Quran today is taken from as according to. And to prove my point that Islamic books is not a valid source, I will take you to the same story. You see how the story here? The story here looked like about someone complained about his blindness, as we see. If we go to the book of Asbab al-Nuzul, we will see the same guy. Remember the name. Remember the name of the person. Ibn Maktoum. Do you see it? I want you to remember the name because that is important. The name of the person who complained. Ibn Maktoum. Ibn mean son, mean mother, Maktoum, the name of the son, which means his name is Maktoum. It's very funny in Arabic, like the son of the son of Maktoum. But he is Maktoum. Just say he's Maktoum. Anyway, let us go. Let it go. If we go to the book of Asbab al-Nuzul and we read the chapter 80, verse number 1, and I'm glad we have some translation for this, you will see that this guy, he came, he's not complaining about his blindness. He was asking Muhammad. Muhammad was busy with a bunch of businessmen who they are really rich, all right, very well known people in Quraysh, and actually they are his family, you know, most of them. Abu Jahl ibn Hisham, this is not his name. Anyway, Muhammad, he changed his name because he refused Islam. And Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, those are the family of Muhammad. Abu Jahl is very rich. This is why the Quran have a chapter about him and his wife. It says that his money will not protect him because he's a rich man. So anyway, he's talking to important people supposedly, and he's hoping that they might embrace Islam. When Ibn Maktoum, you remember the name? Stood up and said, O Messenger of Allah, teach me of that which Allah has taught you. If you think about the story here, let us continue first before we finish the story. And he kept requesting that, and then the Prophet, he turned his face from him. He was upset, he was angry from him, etc. Which means he made him get away. Now, if you think about it, the story is very funny and very stupid. Why? If this guy Muhammad is trying to convert those people about Islam, and this guy here, the blind man, is asking him to teach him about what Allah taught him. Well, isn't this is the same topic? So why Muhammad getting upset? If Muhammad is teaching those people about Islam, it means he's talking about Islam. It means he's talking about what Allah taught him. So why he is telling him, I'm busy? Busy in what? Aren't you the same? It's the same topic. Obviously, he was not talking about Allah. Obviously, he is talking about something totally different. So obviously, the man, he was speaking about something different. He was maybe trying to tell them, if you join me, we can attack other tribes. We will make an army, and we will make you more rich. You will become more powerful, etc. Otherwise, if they are talking about Islam already, and the guy here, the blind man, already is listening because he's already there. As you see, he is sitting. It says he stood up. So if he is talking about God, there is no need for him to say, teach us about God. Obviously, Muhammad is not talking about God. And that shows us how Muslims fabricate stories, because how come the story here, which is about the same person, the same incident, doesn't match with the story in the hadith? Because the story in the hadith says the man, he complained about his blindness. Now, if we take the same story, if a man, he came to Muhammad, complained about his blindness, Muhammad, the first thing he should do, why he don't try to make a miracle? Why he don't invoke his God to recover this man? So everybody will see that Muhammad is a true prophet of God. He know he cannot do it. He know he's a false prophet. He know there's no God he have. Same time, if we go to the Bible, we will see the following.
As Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me, while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground, and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, Go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation, sent. He went his way therefore, and washed, and came seeing.
Anyway, you can read the rest of the story by yourself. We don't have much time. So you see the difference between Jesus, that Jesus, first, he correct people wrong understanding about the reason to be blind or to be ill. It's not about sin. It's not about anything of that. Number two, Jesus did not wait for someone to tell him what to do. He just made the man see. You see the huge difference? In the case of Muhammad, he gave him a Quran. In the case of Muhammad, he made fun of the blind man. He was upset. In the case of Jesus, he gave him vision. He gave him eyes. He created eyes for him. That is Jesus. And this is your Muhammad. Christ is Lord.